nothing from the trolley. From the lower shelf. What did you get from the lower shelf today?
Yes, I've gone and got Japanese vodka called Haku, H-A-K-U, distilled with rice. Very lovely in cocktails, but also nice with a mixer as well. Something different for your vodka.
So you could gargle with it. Might be a good idea.
Yeah, I probably should, yeah.
Today's confession comes from Larry. I would say this is like an old-style revenge confession. Sort of peaked around 1990, 1991.
Oh, really?
Oh,
one of those. Anyway, Larry says, Father Simon, Sister Susie, Brother Matthew, the adjudicators of forgiveness, after hearing Tom and Gemma's confessional tale of the surgeon, who was rude and conceited, reminded me of an incident from the late 90s. My wife, Julie, and I attended the wedding of her cousin, Tamsin, who was marrying her third husband, who we shall call Claude. During the speeches, we learnt of Claude's home improvement disasters. They were hilarious. It's my opinion, rules and conventions meant extraordinarily little to Claude. Once he had an idea in his head, nothing would deter him, even if it were to end in complete failure. This is my judgment. Fast forward to the following spring. Unexpectedly, my wife receives a phone call from Tamsin informing us that Claude was doing a bike ride from Land's End to John O'Groats for charity. This was an impulsive idea, and it was becoming clear he had not planned his journey at all. Apparently, Claude spent his first night sleeping in a field in the open without a sleeping bag, where he complained that the sheep kept him awake.
What?
Goodness me.
I know. We're getting the measure of the man.
Yeah.
As we lived in the southwest, Claude would be en route to us next. Therefore, we were instructed to give him a meal and a bed for the night. My wife agreed that we would. Well, Claude turned up at the front door that evening. He asked Julie if she was Tamsin's cousin, as he didn't know who we were. He looked exhausted, and we were surprised to see he only had a small backpack on his bike. It contained a toothbrush and a spare pair of underpants.
Oh,
brilliant.
After freshening up in the bathroom, Claude came downstairs and handed Julie his pair of underpants that needed washing. Holding them at arm's length, already unforgiven.
Yeah.
Julie quickly placed them in the washing machine. Julie had gone to great trouble that evening to prepare a souffle meal for Claude. As Julie brought the plate of food into the room, he took one look at it and pulled a face. "I can't possibly eat that," he said with disdain. He then added, "I want to ride like the wind, not have the wind." Anyway, he settled for a cheese sandwich, and after telling us he didn't want to have any further chit-chat, he didn't have any time, he took himself off to bed. The following morning, Claude was up early. He took a long shower, using up all the hot water. After what seemed forever, I managed to get into the bathroom to discover he'd used my electric razor to trim his beard. White-haired bristles were scattered all over the wash basin. Well, Father Simon, it was at this point something snapped inside. I could not put up with his behaviour any longer. It'd only been a few hours, but I'd had enough. As I was about to leave the bathroom to tell him what I thought, I noticed his clean underpants on the radiator. A dastardly deed entered my mind, and I rubbed my hands in anticipation of conducting a diabolical scheme. I took off the lid of a bottle, and I gathered up all the small hairy bristles that were in the basin. There were hundreds of them. I then took hold of his underpants, and I sprinkled all the bristles inside. The underpants were still a little damp, and the bristles stuck like glue.
I'll bet they did.
It was like a bog brush, in fact.
Oh, right, okay.
Half an hour later, Claude came downstairs, fully dressed for cycling, said he was off. He mounted his bike outside, and without thanking us, cycled off down the road. I must admit to feeling a little disappointed that my prank had not worked. However, months later, Julie received in the post a self-published book, which tells you everything you need to know, written by Claude. It was an account of his journey from Land's End to John O'Groats. We were mentioned in Chapter 2 and referred to as Tamsin's cousins. He still cannot remember our names.
Oh, my God.
He described his stay with us as dreadful, but at least he had a roof over his head, unlike his first night with the noisy sheep. It was in the next segment of the book that he wrote about his uncomfortable ride to the Midlands. He said he had uncontrollable itching in his nether regions, or words to that effect. He couldn't stop scratching from Gloucester to Birmingham. As I read that passage in the book, I thought, And that is a result. However, soberly on reflection, it was childish behaviour on my part. So, Father Simon, I wish to repent. I wish to apologise to all those motorists who passed Claude on his bike, who may have been distracted, seeing him with one hand on his handlebars and the other hand.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Well, you know, that's just the way this story has gone. Nice crossfade.
Nice fade, yeah.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Anyway, it's Larry's story of revenge. We had many worse than those in 1991, let me tell you. But anyway, comparatively mild, I'd say. Sister Susie, what do you say?
Well, Larry, obviously, Claude wasn't a very nice person. I think we all agree that he just wasn't very nice, and he was rude, and he was ungrateful, and, you know, you could say he might deserve it. However, it was a bit mean, and it was a bit disgusting, and you know, he might have only had one pair of pants, but maybe you shouldn't have put the bristles in it. So I don't think I can forgive you, because I just think it was a bit mean and a bit of a prank, which I don't really like. But he didn't sound like a very nice person, so I kind of want to forgive you just for that reason.
Go on. It's clearly what you clearly want to. It was the fact that he walked down and handed his undergarments.
Indeed.
To
Larry's wife.
Yeah.
Anyway, so are you forgiving or not?
Yeah, actually, for the underpants alone, yeah, I'm going to forgive him.
Brother from another.
I think we're all going to forgive here because of those transgressions in the hand. I mean, the not eating the souffle, the handing someone your underpants to clean and then leaving them on the radiator. That's not, you don't do that in someone else's house. And also using up all the hot water in the shower. Better be in and out of that shower within 5 minutes, or else I am knocking on that door.
Done this speech before.
Stop using all my hot water. So yeah, no, I'm definitely going to forgive it, if only for the line didn't stop scratching from Gloucester to Birmingham. I'll bet he didn't. Yes, definitely forgiven.
People's